Hello, everybody, and welcome to Western Oklahoma Sports Night, inaugural episode of the calendar year 2026. I am Chuck Ramsey, the Lawdog, here with you this evening, streaming live on Facebook, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter X. And we appreciate you tuning in, and a little bit of bugs to work out. But Luke Clement is with us, as well as here in a minute we'll get to Max Patten. But Luke Clement, sports director for Wright Media. It has been a busy first of the year for you, Lucas, and I'm sure that you were just looking forward to more and more tournament action.
You're not lying. Last week was a busy week. All six of our schools in tournament action, and it's right back to it next week. Everybody will be in tournament action next week.
Yeah, and then a new coach hired in Clinton. We should visit with Justin Jefferson later, the voice of Clinton basketball. They were in tournament action. Weatherford is steamrolling through 4A on the boys' side and playing pretty well on the girls' side. And then also a new offensive coordinator at SWASU on the Hilltop for Andrew Rice and his staff. So a lot to get into tonight. But let's go ahead and start out west in Beckham County with our good friend Max Patten, the voice of Sayre Eagles Sports on Zoo TV and or Sayre Eagles TV at wrightmedia. Maxwell, how are you doing, partner?
I'm good. How you doing, Chuck?
Doing good. I was going to do a little checkup on you because Luke played a clip Monday morning of a highlight from a Sayre game, and I don't know if it was just kind of a part of the game. You know, it's kind of hard for us all to get fired up for, but your bingo just kind of came out real restrained. So I just wondered what was going on. Are you okay?
Well, no, it's all good. It's all good. I'm trying to, in this new year, trying to tone it down just a bit, not mess up the audio equipment. You know, it's I do still get a little overly excited at times. So, but if you're watching the boys' game from Saturday, Maverick Miller threw down a dunk and we completely blew up the audio.
Wow! Hey,
yeah,
you know, good excuse too.
Yeah, and dunks anymore. So many youngsters and so many young players that the three ball is their thing. A dunk is kind of like a unicorn anymore. You see it and you're kind of like, wow, they still do that.
Yeah, and you know it's a lot more fun to me to see a guy get up there and throw one down than just jack up 3-pointer after 3-pointer. But so we were real happy for him to make the highlight reel and get a dunk.
For sure. Guys, I tell you, it's a heck of a time of the year, and we will get to some Beckham County sports here in just a minute. But Luke, I started to roll in with kind of a funeral dirge to intro this, and I messed up the intro with the sounder. But your Steelers, man, what a sad performance there on Monday Night Football against the Houston Texans, and potentially a Hall of Fame quarterback and a Hall of Fame coach just nondescriptly leave the field. That even kind of hit me a little hard.
As a diehard, lifelong Steeler fan who has only known Mike Tomlin as the head coach, it was definitely a little upsetting when I saw the news that Tomlin had stepped down. But I think it's time for change to happen in Pittsburgh. I don't think Tomlin really had the drive that he did in year 14 compared to year 19. So I'm excited to see some change and hopefully see some young offensive mind get in there.
And Max, that's the story we hear a lot from franchises and analysts of franchises nowadays, is the old defensive minds fight hard. But you and I can remember the Chuck Noll days at Pittsburgh, and then also the Bill Cowher days, and it all started on the defensive end. I didn't think I know Pittsburgh had a great pass rush, but Luke, you would probably be able to attest this more. I just, to me, Baltimore and Pittsburgh were victims of not having the old defenses they used to have.
100%. When you think about the first Pittsburgh defenses I can remember, it's Ryan Clark, Toy Polamalu, Lamar Woodley, James Harrison, all of those guys, and they prided themselves on not allowing 100-yard rushers and big plays down the field. And the past couple of years, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has just not been there.
Yeah. Max?
Well, it used to be everything was about stop the run first, stop the run. And now offensive football has completely changed. And these old guys, their defensive mindset, I don't think really matches with the way the offenses are being played in the NFL or college for that matter, kind of makes you wonder whether Brent's going to be successful at OU because he's such a defensive minded guy. But Cignetti's a defensive minded guy himself, so he's making it look pretty good in Indiana.
We'll get to see Monday night, and that's going to be a lot of fun to see how the Indiana Hoosiers fare in the Orange Bowl. Max, you and I are old enough to remember when that was kind of the death knell to have to play Miami in a bowl game down there in their home field. And Luke, I think the last time they were any sort of real force, you might not have been born.
Yeah, I don't think
the
I was thought
02
of yet.
season was their last great team, and they lost in a final in the Fiesta Bowl. But the 01 Miami Hurricanes, considered by a lot of people to be maybe the greatest talent-wise team of all time. But no, kudos to you and your Pittsburgh Steelers loyalship. I don't have an NFL team, so I glide amongst the raindrops as far as it goes with NFL. If somebody sucks, I'll point fun at them. If somebody's great, I'll kind of semi bandwagon. But in essence, I don't care. I'll watch NFL. I enjoy it. And, you guys know some of our cohorts on our weekend big show, a lot of Chiefs fans, and longtime Chiefs fans. Marty Wandry and Clinton is a Chiefs fan, but, and I quit liking the Cowboys when they fired Barry Switzer. So, they've been dead to me for a long time.
I wish they'd have quit liking the Cowboys when they fired Barry Switzer. It would have made life a lot easier.
A lot of heartache for you.
Sure. I give a lot of crap to my dad about him being a Steelers fan and him making me a Steelers fan, and he got to see them win all the Super Bowls back in the day, and I'm seeing the dog days, so he hears it from me, that's for sure.
Well, the good thing for you right now as a fan of a pro football franchise is, man, it can turn around. I mean, if you get the right coach and have the right general manager, it can turn around quick. I mean, Philly has been up and down for the last 20 years and gotten 2 Super Bowls out of the deal, played in another. And then, really, unless you are the Dallas Cowboys or the Arizona Cardinals, you have a chance, or the Jets.
Yeah, there very few teams go on prolonged runs where they don't at least have some type of success. And the Steelers are on one of those runs right now, which is the crazy thing. They've gone almost 10 years without a playoff win. So super excited to see what happens in Pittsburgh.
Well, this is Western Oklahoma Sports Night, so we'll focus on some Western Oklahoma sports. The comment line is open if you're watching this stream on Instagram. I'm sorry, not Instagram. I keep saying Instagram, but we are not on Instagram Live. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitter X Live. You should be able to send us a comment, give us your take on things with regards to Western Oklahoma sports. And let's go ahead and check in with the voice of Beckham County. That's Max Patten. Max, you covered the Western Equipment Classic in Arapahoe, at Arapahoe Butler over the weekend. I know Sayre probably didn't have some of the results they wanted, but they did get a win against the boys got a win against Lokiva Sickles on Saturday. Girls fell, but talk about Sayre in that tournament and kind of talk about that tournament overall.
Well, we can talk about the boys first. They, ended up with the consolation championship trophy. In Coach Thomas, to his credit, he has been very consistent since he started. That's not what he wants. He's not interested in 5th place trophies.
Yeah.
And that's not the standard they want. And he thought, and a lot of us did, that they would give Amber Pocasset a really good run in the opening round. But Amber Pocasset shot really well. Sayre, too many fouls, too many live ball turnovers, and it looked like their legs got out from underneath them in the second half, and that was surprising because they haven't really shown that. And really, the only game that they've been blown out this year was against Hobart, but Amber Pocasset ended up putting it on them pretty bad, and they went back and went to work. Went straight to the gym and had a late night practice, and it was a different team the next day. And I really thought, come Friday, I was expecting a lot of dead legs and not a lot of energy, and it was just exactly the opposite. Now they were playing Snyder. Snyder's not having the best year, so the competition wasn't great, but they did what really good teams should do, and they got on them fast, and they stayed on them, put their foot on them, and kept it there the whole game. And was real impressed by that. And then turned around and did the same thing the next day to Lakiba Sickles. Again, not an opponent that they expected to lose to. Lakiba Sickles had only won their first game of the season the night before against Cordell. So they did what they were supposed to do. And again, that was a good sign. But they're taking strides. You can see improvement. I said last night on the broadcast, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Problem is sometimes the light gets further away and, before it starts to come back towards you a little bit. And they got to learn how to win. And last night was another example of that. Played Merritt and a team that really should have been a very even game throughout, but they let Merritt get ahead and was down by almost 20 at the half. Made a great comeback in the third quarter. Played really good basketball. Ended up only being down by 5 at the end of the 3, but then got blown away in the fourth quarter. And so there's a lot of positive things for the boys. The girls, there's just not much you can do when you're short. And that's Sayre's biggest problem. Every night they step on the floor, they are the shortest team on the floor and the smallest team. And, not just in height, but in weight. When your 2 starting guards are 5 foot nothing and probably not even 100 pounds, honestly.
It's hard.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't rebound well and if you turn the ball over, especially live ball turnovers, you're going to get run out of the gym. And that's what happened to Sayre against Rapo Butler on Thursday. Came back, played better on Friday against Snyder. Again, Snyder still figuring things out. They got a brand new coach this year. And then Saturday, same thing against Southwest Covenant. Just a bunch of girls that were taller and longer and could really shoot. And and then of course last night ran into Merritt, and good gosh,
Merritt girls are stout.
They're very stout, and with the new rankings I'm looking at right now, they got 1 first place vote, ranked number 4 in 2A. They're a state tournament team. They're not as deep though as they've been in the past.
2 seasons ago, Merritt Oilerettes won the state title.
Yeah.
And that was last year. Win over Dale, wasn't it?
And they were 10 deep easy that year. And it's pretty hard to be 10 deep year after year. It seems like Merritt is, but I don't think they're quite 10 deep this year, and it's going to be a little more difficult road. But Marley Mong, the senior that plays there at Merritt, she's really good.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be playing college basketball someplace. So we'll turn the page and get ready for Cordell Friday night.
Yeah. What was your take on Jeff Snowden with the Merritt boys? Has he got that program kind of going in a direction that you I think he had a lot of success at Sentinel.
Yes. Tyler Snowden, not Jeff.
Tyler's the head coach?
I think it's Tyler.
Tyler's the son, I think.
I think Jeff's the AD.
Oh, okay. Okay, my bad. I thought Dad took the head coaching job there.
Let me double check it here. I'm pretty sure.
I know Ace left Weatherford to go play there.
Yes, and Ace is a senior.
Jet was a Tyler's the dad. I'm sorry.
I'll have it for you in 2 seconds.
They're coming to West Central, aren't they?
Tyler's the dad, and he's the head coach.
Okay.
All right. And Jet is his assistant.
Yeah. Jet was an assistant under Bull last year at Weatherford. Ace was at Weatherford too. Played JV and got minutes there. And then he's a good little player. So what was your take on Tyler Snowden and the Merritt Oiler kind of new look program?
Well, I got pretty much what I expected out of them. I thought Tyler would have them wanting to run, play good, tough defense. That was what I saw. He's a real fiery guy, and I thought he had calmed down a little bit. He wasn't nearly as fiery as I expected him to be. Of course, having a 20-point lead most of the game makes it a lot easier. But he didn't get crazy excited or anything like that in the third quarter when Sayre went on their run. So he's going to be a good coach for them. I think he will always have a team that will be a team that you can expect to make a deep playoff run.
Yeah.
Whether they'll be a state tournament team year after year after year, that depends on just what he's got to work with. But he's a good coach, and he'll do a good job for Merritt. They're lucky to have him.
Max, I know when I'm clipping through or skimming through the boys' games, it feels like you can kind of pick out the guy for a team, but everybody's always scoring. You got a leading scorer every different night. Who are some of the guys that the Eagles go to?
Well, J.J. Beard was kind of the ball handler and the main guy last year. And one of the things that Garrett Thomas has done is really make sure everybody understands they have the green light. And sophomore Jagger Wooten is playing alongside J.J. in the guard position, and he's handling the ball a lot. Jagger's a guy that can give you 20 points any night. And then you add Rocky Willis, who's playing forward. He's a senior. That young man, his jump shot has improved so much. And he's a guy that can give you 4 to 5 3-pointers every night if he can get open. And that's really the thing that they have to work on. And then Maverick Miller, 6'4", and Sayre really hasn't had that deep post presence the last 3 years. You got to go all the way back to
Clayton Mossberg.
Clayton Mossberg. He stepped out a lot, but Maverick he can shoot a 3 with anybody, but they're not adept at getting him down in the post and getting the ball to him and getting that turnaround 5-foot jump shot when they need a bucket to stop a run. But he's capable. I mean, Mavericks scored 15, 16 points in a game at some point in time during the season. So they really do have 4 or 5 guys at any given night can go off for 20 points. And when they get to the point where every night they have 4 guys in double figures, then they're going to be pretty good. And I didn't even talk about Tate Bodden. Tate is a good guy that he can get down low and bang and get rebounds if need be. He can step out, shoot the 3. He can handle the ball if you need him to. He's 6'1", a guy that played tight end in football, played free safety. He can do a little bit of everything, and he's just he's so cognizant of what he needs to do any given night that if you just need him to get in there and bang with somebody and get rebounds, he can do that. If he needs to take over a ball game, he can do that. And so they really do have a lineup that can do a lot of things. It's just learning how to win. And that's really, it's kind of a cliche kind of thing, but that's really where they're at. They just got to learn how to win. And they're getting there. Hopefully they get there about the time playoffs start.
Right.
Max, you guys don't play another 2A team after Cordell until February 10th, and then you'll take on the Watonga Eagles and also Frederick, but then districts come up after that. Have you talked to Coach Thomas in some of your interviews at the halves of the girls' game or anything, and gotten what he thinks about his feel about 2A basketball in Western Oklahoma?
Well, we haven't talked so much about that, as Coach Thomas is really just concerned about Sayre. The opponent doesn't really matter to him. Doesn't matter whether we're playing, Class B 2 Eric or Class 4A Weatherford or whomever it may be. He's really just concerned about what his guys are doing, how they're performing. Are they following the playbook? Are they doing the things that he's wanting them to do? And everything else will fall into place is pretty much his theory about things. So it's tough out here being so far west because we can't.
You got phone signal, I can tell that.
Yes, obviously. It's Justin texting you. So
I answered him. Sorry, I have it on vibrate, by the way.
Well, not that smart. You're out here, and after you play Mangum and Hobart, and Cordell and Merritt, you run out of schools that are 2A.
Yeah.
And Elk City doesn't want to play Sayre. We did it, I don't know, 5 years ago during Clayton Mossberg's senior season. And, we almost come out with a win that night. And then Elk City didn't want to play anymore. And, we don't get we're not scheduling games with Clinton. When Coach Richardson was here, we'd get a game with him every once in a while. But, finding a school that is within 100 miles that is a 2A school or up is darn near impossible.
Could have brought you into the Weatherford Classic last weekend.
Well, we're short there.
The varsity team, 2 JV teams in there. Well, real quick, and we're going to go visit with Justin Jefferson here in a minute, but Sayre's got matches against Class B number 3, the Duke and Sentinel's a B1 ranked team, and B2. I apologize. And then also, I always like to see you guys take on the other Beckham County teams. You got one with Eric. Is it Eric or Eric?
Whatever you want.
Okay, Eric. So anyway, but talk about what you see, and last on an exit question, ceiling for this Sayre Eagles team going forward. What do they need to do to make a run into the area tournament?
Well, the boys have the potential to finish 500. It kind of depends on how things go up at Shattuck. They had that draw today. I hadn't heard from either of the coaches today on what they got for a draw, but I know the girls' side of the bracket was going to be a little more tougher than the boys' side. Eric doesn't have a team, so Sayre's not going to play there. The boys aren't going to play there, but they're going to have it against Duke, it's really just about how long. Next time I'll turn it off. It's really more about how the boys learn to compete as a group, and could they get in there and make a run to the area tournament? Yes, they can. It's a possibility.
Okay.
The girls, if we get lucky enough to run into a bunch of teams that are short, who knows? But that's really
well. And what we'll do is we'll check in again with you next week. Hopefully, I think we should be good to go. I know it's sacrilege to be on the air on Wednesday night when everybody's in church, but it's the night that nobody has games, so that's kind of our one little outlet here. Or unless we want to do Sunday night, and that would be even worse. But man, Max, great to check up with you. We'll be following you. I know Luke will be clipping clips from you. Let's get a little more energetic bingo in the future coming up.
My favorite thing about listening to Sayre Eagles TV is.
And I've stolen for full transparency. I've stolen Ben Tucker, who plays for Weatherford. Ever since he was a sophomore or maybe a freshman, I've used your KK beard phrase. You can't stop Ben Tucker. You can only hope to contain him, and his parents have loved that. So, Max, bub, take care of yourself, bub.
All right, thanks a lot. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks. Talk to you soon. Max Patten, the voice of Sayre Eagles Sports on Wright.media, Sayre Eagles TV, and no radio for Sayre, Luke, but I think they get quite a few numbers on their stream.
I think they do too. I think Sayre has a pretty healthy fan base that enjoys to root on the Eagles.
Oh, yeah. I play in that Sayre All Sports Scramble with Max in July, which, man – Sayre in July is a hot one.
I imagine.
Boy. But they do love some Sayre sports there, and they love Max Patten too. So anyways, well, let's go to C-Town and talk to Double J, Justin Jefferson, the voice of Clinton basketball. And Justin,
Chuck, I can actually only hear Luke. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Well, I don't
know. What's going on, Justin?
Oh, not a lot, man. Just in between worship team practice and actual going on stage at church right now.
So you
then we better dip you in and out quick. Go ahead, Luke.
Oh, he froze.
Can you still not hear Chuck?
No, I cannot.
No?
I can only hear you.
I was gonna say you stay pretty busy then between games and church, and they keep you pretty locked up.
Oh yeah, I play keys at the edge, and so my Wednesdays and Sundays are pretty much full. And then I have a little one that has basketball practice on Mondays because he's in the Clinton third grade league, and so it's just something every day in
Well,
our
if you
house.
could, yeah, it sounds like it. If you could give us a little synopsis of how the Clinton basketball teams are doing this year.
So we probably in a what I'd say maybe a 4 year rebuild. If you would say the boys, it's weird with them. It's kind of been a struggle with trying to find a rhythm. The We're very senior heavy actually. Got a lot of height. It's been rare to find that game where we kind of click. Like in the yesterday we played Elgin and we were down 17-11 at halftime and we just couldn't throw the ball in the ocean.
Yeah.
And then we finally started getting that rhythm going and it was kind of nice to see some of the guys get going. Like Titan Malone, he's gonna get his. He had 25 points. He's normally averaging double. He's normally getting double digits. Ronnie Richin, he's been hit or miss this season. He's normally the 3-point sniper on the team. He had 14 yesterday, so that was good to see. DJ Lister, um, it feels weird talking about him on air because he's my kid. So you try not to be overly critical or overly praising at the same time because you want to
Yeah,
be neutral. But it was nice to see him finally get into double figures too. He had
that bang
10.
comes out a little bit louder when it's one of his
Just
shots,
a
huh?
little bit. Comes from a deeper place.
Yeah,
But so it's been cool to see. And then the girls, it's kind of it's they're so young. um, we'll have we'll have times where if Ella Richard's not in the game, we're probably going to have 4 freshmen and a sophomore on the court at most times, and one sophomore actually is out. I heard somebody say something about ACL. I hope that's not true, but Arlena Kirkendall, she got hurt in the Weatherford game. And so she was in a knee brace on Tuesday. She had finally got checked out on Monday. And then our other sophomore, Riley Rodebush, I mean, she's the team's leading scorer. The issue is we're struggling to keep her on the court because of foul trouble. And so we're depending on a lot of young kids and there's talent there. It's just they gotta grow.
Justin, are you still not able to hear me?
But that's kind of been their thing, and we have the junior high program. I know everybody's really excited about the 7th and 8th grade programs
one
over
of the
here.
one of the things I was going to ask you about the Lady Reds. Chuck's still trying to get some audio, but um, the last weekend you're at the Noble tournament in the losing the first round, and then that Tecumseh game, you're up by 15, and the Lady Reds they're not able to hold on to the win. But it seems like the offense is starting to get figured out a little bit for the Clinton girls.
Well, they're finally getting their rhythm of we know who's going to score. Ella, and honestly, it's Ella knocking down shots. At the end of the day, I mean, I think that game she had 17 or 18 points maybe. And that was kind of the game where her shot started going down and she was finding some open shots. And a lot of the Lady Reds issues too is just sometimes we're just not taking shots. Like you'll see somebody pass up an open shot to get it to somebody else, and sometimes they can find themselves being too unselfish. And sometimes you want to yell out, shoot the ball.
Right.
Like, and so it's nice. Ella's shots going down. Riley Rodebush, she's a monster down low. I mean, it's hard for other teams to guard her.
Yeah.
And so if she's finishing down low or getting to the free throw line, she's gotten better at the free throw line this season too. And so that's helped her average out a lot. I don't think she's had less than 15 points in a game in about 3-4 games now.
That
And
seems like
so
go ahead.
And so that's been really nice to see just her just get some consistency going.
Yeah, it seems like every time I use something on the radio station for you guys, it's Riley Rodebush, and she's always doing something inside. Moving back to the boys team, I wanted to hit on the comeback win last night against Elgin. You kind of did, but you're down by 10 in the second half, and Titan Malone, he has a big night, shooting from all over the court, it seemed like.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the engine for the Red Tornadoes. He's kind of to the boys what Riley is to the girls. He's that consistent presence. You're pretty much going to get the same effort out of him every game. It may not show up as far as points, but more often than not, he's going to find his way to 8, 10, 12 points. And then if his shot's falling, then it's kind of like, look out, because he has the ultimate green light. Anytime he comes down the floor, he knows that he has the confidence from the coach to shoot the ball. And so he uses that confidence, and he's taken on that role as a team leader, emotionally and on the court. I mean, you see he's reacting to calls even more now. He's telling the team, let's go. He's being more vocal out there, and firing up shots that you wouldn't have saw him take the past couple of years. So it's been really nice to see him come into his own, for sure.
Yeah. Chuck, can you hear Chuck yet?
Justin, I guess
it's still silent. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I don't understand how the host ends up not being able to get audio across to a guest, but either way. Luke, if you would ask Justin, the new head coach hire there, Justin has a vibe into the athletic department through blood ties. If you would ask him just kind of what the feel is about Trevor Powers stepping in.
Big news in Clinton besides basketball season is the new hiring of head coach Trevor Powers to lead the football team. What's kind of been the vibe in Clinton this week?
And it's weird. It's like mixed emotions. And I'm like, and it's kind of odd from the people that are against it. First of all, I love John Higbee. Like, he's a great man. I think the world of him. So I think there's some people in that camp of, if they're excited about the new coach, then that means they're against John. And so there's kind of that mixed feeling. And then there's people that get on talking about that Coach Powers comes from a small school. And I'm like thinking, Coach Lee came from Alva. Alva's not just a bustling metropolis up there.
Especially in 19, whenever he started back then.
Exactly. And Coach Powers has won everywhere he's been. Like, he's shown that he's a winner. And so I think everybody just needs to give him a shot. I mean, with any new coach, you want to give them a chance. And you're going to have to practice patience, because with the junior high program has been down the past couple of years. So it's going to take time for him to build the program back up. But just off his track record, I mean, I believe he can get it rolling.
Do you think there's a fear of maybe the traditional look of Clinton football leaving the I formation, the 5-man front? Do you think that could be a reason why there's a little bit of hesitation towards the new coach?
Oh, for sure. One thing, I'm really glad that I'm in the press boxing games, because sometimes it's kind of one of those, if you have 4 plays go wrong or something, you're going to hear somebody in the crowd go, run the sweep, run the sweep.
Yeah.
And it's just, you get stuck on how things used to work. And it's kind of one of those, I mean, there's ways that offense can still work. I mean, I guess you can look at Davis last year. They won state last year. But, I mean, more teams are going to that spread. And so you're going to have to throw it more. I mean, it's 2026 now. You're going to have to be able to throw the ball. You're going to have to be able to defend the pass. That 50 defense, it's awesome against the run, but man, there are holes. There are holes when other teams are just chunking the ball everywhere. Somebody's going to be open, and the players are going to look bad, but sometimes it's just the way the defense is designed. It's just hard to run nowadays.
No doubt. Chuck?
Luke, you might, if Justin.
I hear you now.
Oh, you got me now. Wow.
I hear you now.
Pretty amazing capability for an interview, isn't it? We're visiting with voice of Red Tornado basketball. Justin Jefferson also has his finger on the pulse of Clinton football. And you're exactly right talking about, and as a Sooner fan, you may not be old enough to remember, but when we got away from that 5-2 defense, it was it was tough, you know, and you're just so used to having two tackles, a nose tackle, and 2 defensive ends of some sort. But you know, it really is a day and time where your linebackers and your edge rushers, even on the high school level, do so much. I thought that Coach Powers, and Luke and I had talked about this last week when we heard about the hire. He was at Hooker, had great success in Class A at Hooker, then takes the job at Liberal, Kansas. But those Hooker teams he had there, man, they had speed, they had power, they hit hard. I mean, I called a game one time, and it was a down season for Thomas, but they were up 55-0 at the half the season that I called Thomas, which I didn't call Thomas basketball that year. So if they got better, it wasn't because I left them. Thank you very much. But anyways, but Coach Powers, you know, in Hooker, it's a different dynamic. And I think, you know, I would be dishonest with myself if I didn't say I would imagine in Hooker you have to gain a rapport with Hispanic players.
Oh, for sure.
Is that something that will serve him well in Clinton now?
Oh, 100%. I mean, everybody knows the makeup of Clinton is different than most of the surrounding areas.
Or soccer school now.
Yes, and
I'm just joking.
I mean, you look at the past few state championships. I mean, yeah. I mean,
definitely.
They've definitely enjoyed more success, and it's weird for me to talk about because I mean I'm a thumb on both programs.
Yeah, for sure.
But you definitely want to be able to coach a minority heavy school. It's kind of like I feel like Clinton and even Watonga, there are schools where it's almost like an inner city school in a rural area.
Yeah, and I don't want anybody saying that I'm saying that John Higbee couldn't do that. I'm not saying that at all.
Oh, he won a state title.
Yeah, but you know his replacement would have to have that same ability is what I'm getting.
Oh yes, for sure. And like I said, once again, nothing against John Higbee. I mean, I think the world of the man.
Great man.
Everybody knows he can coach.
Yeah.
I mean, they know he can coach ball. And so wherever he ends up, I mean, that team's going to enjoy a lot of success because he can coach.
Yeah.
But yes, his replacement, he's going to have to understand there's going to be kids that they're going to need help making it to practice some days. There's going to be struggles that they're having that they might not see at other schools. There's going to be issues that they have with certain kids that they don't have. And one thing my dad had kind of mentioned to me before when he was coaching soccer, you know, he had some players that, you know, they had to leave practice early to go to work.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things where, you know, at first you're like, you're young, you got your whole life to work. But then the player comes back and goes, no, coach, you don't understand. My income, it keeps the lights on at our house.
Sure.
And so it's kind of one of those things like you have to work around things like that too.
But even with the hardships that some players have in certain situations, I would think just the proclivity for a lot of the Hispanic kids to just lean into soccer and not really give football much of a thought. I mean, you had JJ Ruiz as your leading or one of your leading rushers this season. He's also a heck of a soccer player, isn't he?
I don't believe JJ plays soccer.
Oh, I'm thinking of your kickers. I'm sorry.
Kicker, yes. Luis, yes.
No, Gonzalez.
Yes, he wants, and it's funny because he enjoyed kicking. He did so well at kicking. Now, he's gonna have some decisions to make as far as does he want to play soccer, does he want to play football? Because he can definitely kick at the next level.
He's got a boot for sure.
Do those two sports interfere? Like, can an athlete play both of those sports?
Oh yes, because in Oklahoma, soccer's a spring sport.
That's right. Yeah.
Or most other states, it's a fall sport, and so you can't do both. But
wasn't there a player on the Clinton football team this season though that played a lot of snaps, but is also a soccer player?
Yeah.
Not Ruiz. I'm trying to remember because Dennis Smith butchers his name.
Yeah.
Remember.
Okay.
Anyways, but no, it's going to be interesting, and like you said, you have to look at, you know, it's the administrators that have to deal with that situation like you described, we don't want to be careful liking this new coach too bad to make Coach Higbee think we don't miss him. It's not. I don't think that's a situation Coach Higbee would look at anybody differently. But also to clue listeners in, Eugene Jefferson, your father, is also the athletic director at Clinton, so also a girls head soccer coach. So a lot of success there under Coach Jay. Justin, we'll let you get to worship practice, but you've got the cash-in tournament coming up for Red Tornado basketball. And I'll just tell you this, I see where your boys are opening up against Riverside. And Daniel Creeping Bear, that would be a name to pay close attention to, because he racked up 33 against Weatherford and really has a lot of skill. And Riverside gave Weatherford everything they wanted.
Yeah, that tournament it's nice to see teams not in our conference, because usually we get team in tournaments and it ends up being half of our conference in there. We'll have like a Blanchard and an Elk City, or we used to be in y'all's tournament and we'd have y'all and Elgin would be in it, and just seeing. So it's nice to see those smaller schools in different areas get the new challenge. But I mean, it's still no breaks. I mean, you got OCS on the other end. Probably, I mean, spoiler alert, we probably won't see OCS, but I mean, you still got in the losers bracket, you're still going to see quality teams in tournaments like that. Like Lone Grove is the 5 seed and they beat Riverside.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Riverside got beat by the OKC Knights earlier in the season, and that's a team that Weatherford plays against this Friday. So they can be a little hot and cold. I know that Daniel Creeping Bear didn't play as well the night after he went off for 33 against Weatherford. I think it was Chickasha that he played against. But, I would not go into that saying that Clinton couldn't hit a hot streak and maybe get into the winner's bracket,
that'd be nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, Justin, we'll let you get back to worship practice. And thank you so much for taking time to join us here. You're always welcome here on Western Oklahoma Sports Night. We got to have a Clinton voice. That's the kicker to it all. We got to include Clinton, and I would imagine Coach Powers will be visiting with a lot of people around Seatown and talking about his vision for the future.
All right. Thank y'all for having me. And quick, Luke, I also listen to you a lot because I worked in hydro for the past 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I work at Farm Care, and so I know a lot of the kids on the hydro team.
Yeah.
So it's really cool listening to you.
I appreciate it.
Talking about it, because Kellen Proff's dad is my boss. So
okay. He's found his shot this year. He's coming along.
Oh, he definitely has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin, thanks so much, bub.
All right. Thank y'all.
Talk to you soon.
See ya.
All right. He's Justin Jefferson, voice of Clinton Red Tornado basketball, and also does PA announcing for the football and soccer teams there at the Tornado Bowl. And he kind of helped us segue into our next segment, Luke. You are the voice of Hydro Eakley Bobcat and Lady Bobcat sports basketball tournament over the weekend. And it was a big one at the Slick Hills tournament in Apache. You guys had been in Geronimo before the holiday. Just Hydro likes to go south. And, talk about how the boys and girls performed there at Apache.
It was a very, very fun 3 days of basketball. The girls, they finished third. They start off the week with a win over ranked Fletcher. They won it big, led it big at halftime, and Fletcher was able to get into it late in the game to make the score look a little bit better. They met up with a good Hobart team in the semifinals. Hobart was really able to beat him with speed. Hobart has a lot of size, a lot of length for a Class A girls basketball team, but Hobart, I think, was able to beat him with the speed there in the semifinals game. Matched up with the host team, Apache, in the third place game. Since I've been doing Hydro Weekly basketball, it feels like the Apache and Hydro Weekly girls always get matched up in tournament play. It's always a fun game when they get after it. Hydro Weekly was able to beat them on their home floor, and it's always fun when you can beat the host team in a tournament, silence a home crowd. So that was fun. And then the boys, they have really, really come along. They played some really good basketball over the weekend. They beat 6th ranked in Class B1 Fort Cobb in the semifinals by 6 points. Led that one wire to wire. We ended up on the Fort Cobb side for that one. And credit to Fort Cobb, some very passionate fans, and it was a loud, very, very loud game. And every time Hydro Weekly would knock down a bucket and I'd get excited, I just felt like I was getting stared at. It was,
Get those dirty looks.
yeah, I was not necessarily welcomed on the
Yeah,
Fort Cobb
yeah.
side, but no, it was a great time. It was a great game. Fort Cobb or Bobcats won that one. And then in the championship game, they matched up with the now second-ranked team in 2A, Vanoss. And it was a back-and-forth game. They led it by one at the start of the fourth, but two senior starters foul out down the stretch, Peyton Lyerly and Jackson Wool, and Vanoss was able to get back into it. But starting the season 0-5, and since then the boys are 9-3. So they've really found their shot. Like Max was saying earlier, they figured out how to win, and since then it's been really good.
Yeah. Well, and looking at the schedule, you've got the girls have a ranked match against Canton.
Yep.
Going on the road this Friday, so that will be a tough one. Thomas, we don't have Kenny McGuire on here to talk Thomas with us, but Thomas got a win over Canton in that O'Keene championship on Saturday night. That was a big win for Coach Petrie.
Thomas, I don't want to say surprisingly, but I felt like I was saying that they had a 3 or 4 game win streak. I blinked and they had a 7 game win streak.
Yeah.
And Thomas girls are ranked 18th, and they're coming along this season as well.
Yeah. Well, and there's so much basketball that's looking great. Watonga is pretty solid in Class 2A. They had ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw at that Three Rivers tournament, I think, in the Fairview Yellow Jackets on the boys' side. Girls, I lost track of how they did in that tournament at Hennessy.
I couldn't tell you who won that tournament, to be real honest with you, but there's some stiff competition in there. Watonga, Fairview, Cashin, Hennessy. There's some stiff competition in that tournament.
And Hennessy is a great gym to go to and call a game. They built a wonderful facility. We've been there for area twice since I've been doing Weatherford basketball, but it's a beautiful facility, and they always take good care of you there. Kenny McGuire checking in, and this is let's see what Kenny has. I asked him to come on the show, but apparently he's just going to comment from the peanut gallery. But Kenny McGuire in Thomas says the hooker coach has been good a long time. Yeah, I mean, those hooker teams, Luke, that he coached in football were some top flight ones. Played Fairview in a championship one year.
Yep,
Two teams out of the same district playing for a championship. Or am I thinking?
No, you're right. That would have been 2023 when they lost to Fairview, and then in 2024 they lost to Rejoice. And Rejoices, I mean, they were putting up. They had a kid who just signed with OU, so I mean, Rejoice.
Yeah, they're recruiting
really
pretty heavy there at Rejoice Christian. So, and I always get Rejoice Christian and Regency Prep confused, because they're all cheaters. But anyways, so Kenny McGuire, thanks for checking in. I sent him the email. If you want to check in with us, Kenny, feel free. Orson Jabara from Arapahoe Butler reposted our video on Twitter, and we're going to reach out to him, Luke, and talk to him real soon. He hit the 1,000-point mark here just a while back.
That's a big accomplishment for any high school athlete to be able to cross that.
You know how many varsity points I totaled in my career?
Let me guess.
1 year of starting.
1 year starting. How many years on the team?
I was let's see. I was varsity my sophomore, junior, and senior years. I was on the varsity squad.
Give me 144 points on the career.
Oh, Lord. I would be wearing that like a big badge of honor. I think I totaled 14.
Oh,
no. 21 points. I had a decent, for me, a decent tournament.
You got me.
I never reached double figures as a player in high school.
You got me beat, Chuck. You know how many varsity points I have?
How many? Oh, man.
Zero. I didn't play basketball in high school, so you got me beat.
Well, not by much, considering all the suicides I had to run. But no, I wasn't a big scorer. I was more of a defensive and rebounding guy.
Say how many career rebounds you got?
We didn't keep track back then. I had a great block shot though. I mean, I could block shots in essence because Well, first off, I was a 6'1", 165-pound power forward. So, figure that out. Pushed around in the paint by anybody with size. But what I had was a good, quick vertical leap. And I could get up, and I wouldn't slap a shot necessarily, but I would hit it right as they were releasing it. And so I had some blocks in my day. My senior year is where I got the most playing time, but we were let's just say my senior year, coach decided to go into a rebuild mode and get his sophomores ready for a run the next 2 seasons, which they had. But Coweta had some marginal success. We had a good time. But no, Orson Jabbar, 1,000 points. That is so amazing for players to do that. I think I need to do some checking and with Jackson Smith of the Weatherford Eagles to see where he's at, because at the rate he's scoring, Luke, he could be closing in on something of that nature as well. And I tell you, this Weatherford boys team, and we'll talk a little bit about the Weatherford girls as well. But anything else about Hydro Eakley you wanted to throw out there before we jump?
Watch us on Friday, taking on Canton.
Hydro Eakley, Bobcat TV on wrightmedia. Luke does a great job broadcasting there. Who was the kid that was leaving for the game with you last night?
Renee Amaya. He is a Clinton senior, and he is working for the radio station and helping us do the games.
Outstanding. Thank you to him for jumping in and helping your crew. So going forward, like I said, so many teams it's so weird because the A and B teams are feels like they're on the last third of their stretch, and the 4A teams and even some of the 2A teams haven't gotten there yet. I mean, I think it was the Elgin. Was it the Elgin girls? I think I looked at their schedule. I put their record on my spotter sheet, and it was like they hadn't played hardly any games. I think they're like 3-4 or something. It was because of football.
Yeah.
But anyways, Weatherford boys and girls, they had their Weatherford Classic last weekend. The boys won their 5th consecutive championship with a big win over Bridge Creek. Bridge Creek is a solid team. They've got outside shooters. They've got height and length, and they're ranked in the top 20. But Weatherford really got a big output from Jackson Smith, the senior guard, and then Cooper Bryant, the junior forward. And I'll tell you something, Cooper Bryant.
The Iceman.
The Iceman, exactly. It's hard for me to watch Cooper Bryant, Luke, because I look at him and just think what I could have been back in the day.
No, but I'm flashbacks.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so cool under pressure. He gets around that hoop and he knows how to score, knows how to get his shot off, and the competition is going to increase for that squad. They'll face teams that really can bring the juice. But, so far to be 11-0 in this, actually maybe 12.
I got them as 12-0.
Yeah, they're 12-0. My bad. And ranked number 6 on the boys' side. It's just amazing. And somebody said, well, still number 6 for 12-0. Well, all right, here's the top 5 in 4A. Douglas, Cassia Hall, Fort Gibson, which I think Fort Gibson has a nice complaint that they're behind Cassia Hall and beat Cassia Hall in the Tournament of Champions.
But that's a pretty reasonable argument.
Yeah. North Rock Creek, who I think returned just about everybody except Caleb Hawkins, the new OSU running back from North Texas fame. And then Crossings Christian at number 5. Crossings is loaded. And so, it's going to be tough for Weatherford to crack the top 5 just based on those teams, even if they lose some of the games. I know Crossings still has to play Douglas, I think, and they lost to Millwood last week. So, it's just going to be a wait and see if you can move up. But number 6 is such an amazing. You'll just need to work to hold that in a very tough second half of the schedule for the Western Athletic Conference.
When you talk about pure thickness of competition, how many good teams there are, I think 4A boys basketball is one of the best. Those 6 teams that you just rattled off have all been in the state tournaments the past couple of years. They've all been able to make runs. Crossings Christian was 2 points shy of bringing home the title last year. And so no, 4A basketball is some stiff competition. And for Weatherford to be 6th And after all the talent that they lost, I was going to ask you, for the guys that on this team, they've won their 5th straight Weatherford Classic, but this one has to mean a little bit more with all the doubt that was surrounding them going into
Yeah.
this season.
2022, my first season doing Weatherford basketball, I think they defeated Tuttle to win their first Weatherford Classic in several years. And Tuttle had a lot of players on that squad. Well, Cade Jennings, and he was a senior. Tay Vu was a senior guard. And then Nate Rareman was a sophomore, and the Sage twins were freshmen. CJ Nixon was a freshman. And, that was a big turning point for this program. They went on a streak there that really kind of escorted them into the state tournament that season and fell in the semifinals to Victory Christian. But that first Weatherford Classic meant a ton. I mean, in all honesty, the next 3 seasons, they were
kind of expected to win it.
They were a given. It would have been a huge upset if they would have lost it. But then they played a tough one against Guthrie 2 seasons ago, I think it was, 2 seasons ago. No, maybe 3. Anyways, but Guthrie came out one year and gave them everything they wanted. Piedmont has been in it in the past. This year, I would say that Bridge Creek win, it was a matter of getting in that and finding out really what it takes, because you had the challenge by the Riverside game at the Arvest Bank Classic at Chickasha, and you had a player go off for 33 points and make things, they won by 2, 53-51. But then also, other than that, your toughest competition has been Woodward, and that's predominantly because of Caden Gaines at 6'8". And actually, it's been other players who have made some of those games tougher, because they've done a great job against Caden Gaines, who is, if you've ever seen a 6'8" kid who's more comfortable at the 3-point line than he is maybe even in the mid range, it's pretty amazing. But I would say that with Derek Bull, I mean, I was on OKC Sports Radio CBS with Josh Swicky, who does the Douglas play-by-play, and he's curious. He was looking at the rankings and and he wanted me on to talk about Weatherford. And I told him, I said, I think this season, if you looked at Derek Bull and his accomplishments with that team over the past 4 seasons, and you're just somebody who's dismissive and say, well, he had 4 minimum Division II players. One's at Iowa, balling out for the Hawkeyes in Big Ten competition. Ethan could be there. Ethan Sage could be there. Tate Sage is who I was referring to. Walker Kennedy, Nate Rareman at SWASU, and CJ Nixon's playing football at OU. He could easily be playing basketball at a D1. I mean, he had that kind of skill. But it's easy to dismiss that. It's kind of like the Phil Jackson effect. You got Jordan. You roll the ball out and you go win it. You got to have a system. Even with great players, you have to have a system. And I think this season that Derek Bull's system is on prime display, because they play great defense. They move the ball. They run. I mean, think about this, Luke. I always said, I would love to have been a coach. I couldn't come up with plays,
right.
Or know how to implement them or things like that.
When to call them.
I mean, he, especially out of a timeout or at the end of a quarter, if they've got possession, Derek Bull is going to have a play ready to have that team run. And it's just, I think he's really showing out his coaching skills this season. Now they've got, he said Saturday night when I interviewed him, they know that the schedule's backloaded towards the end with a lot of the tougher competition. They've still got a ranked Bethany team to play. Blanchard is in the top 10. Kingfisher, you'll probably get Kingfisher twice.
You're going
There's a good chance you get Kingfisher twice. One on the road there in regular season play, and then the Buckle of the Wheat Belt tournament. You could face them. So
are they on opposite sides there?
You would
have to ask, right?
Yeah, let me pull that up. But no, going on with our point, I love what Derek Bull is doing with this team, and it looks like they are on opposite sides. So Kingfisher would have to beat. They would have to probably meet in the championship.
Yeah. You mentioned you mentioned the system, and I 100% agree. I think basketball coaches are, out of all the coaches, they get kind of pushed to the side the most when they have a team full of superstars saying that it's just the superstars. But like you said,
Yeah.
you have to have a system. You got to know, you got to have them, you got to put them in the right spots. And one steady common out of all the Weatherford player interviews that I've heard you do, they talk about a culture and they talk
Mhm.
about what is expected of them in practice and outside of practice. And I think the culture is something that is also showing
Yeah.
very prominent this year.
I'll tell you another thing, Luke. I think Derek Bull's a little more willing to get outside shooters their looks. I mean, in the past, Ethan or Tate would take outside shot, 3-point shots. Walker Kennedy was an adept 3-point shooter. Cade Jennings used to just light it. He flung it, CJ had a good outside shot. But 9 times out of 10, they were going to run a play or run a formation that got one of the big guys just a really high percentage bucket. And, that's why I think like the North Rock Creek semifinal game last year was closer, because we were just taking kind of the bread and butter stuff and they start unloading threes. And, you know how it gets when a team can get hot. But it was interesting, though, to see this season Dylan Epp. That's another senior guard that I look at and just like, and Coach Bull said this over the past 2 years. He knew he had players that if they went to other schools, they would stand out. So it's not like anything is surprising to him.
It helps when in practice when you're going against an OU defensive lineman and a Iowa guard. It helps you improve your game a little bit.
Well, and Cooper Bryant and Hunter Nelson, the senior forward is Nelson. They man the interior for that team, and Jackson Smith is a great rebounder too. But Hunter Nelson and Cooper Bryant, I mean, they've practiced against 6-7 guys, majority of their high school career. So, it's nothing new to them, but they'll have to keep working hard. They'll have to keep improving. That's what every team has to do. But also on the girls' side, I mean, I was really pleasantly surprised to see the Weatherford girls really light it up from outside last night against Elk City. And you're talking about a top 20 matchup. Weatherford moved up to 12 in the Class 4A girls rankings, and Elk City was at 15. Elk City made it, close, and then they took off, and Talon Payne had a big, huge second half. Deja Givens has been steady as the rain throughout this run. And, it's easy to look at things, Luke, and say, oh, well, this team, they got to do this, they got to do that. They're 10-2.
They're figuring it out. They're doing it.
They're figuring it out. And one thing Max said about a team, we don't have a player over 5'8", 5'9", and it can be tough sometimes. You're going, I mean, Kaz Ulrich for Elk City, even the Rodebush girl, she's a force down low. And then some of the other teams we played that have had 5'10", 5'11" girls, that can make a difference. But I like what our team has done with their defense and rebounding. And even if they're not shooting the ball, they're going to be in a game because of the fact that they can, clog things up and then also defend and clear the boards. Now, I think Saturday in the championship, it was the de facto championship because it was pool play for the girls. But they played Bishop McGinnis, and McGinnis had some taller girls and very athletic girls, but they lose that one 48-54, and it's tough to lose that one, especially when you had a double-digit lead at one time. But I think it's going to show the girls that if a team keys in on Deja Givens, somebody else has to step up. You've got to get production from your other players. And at times they have. There's been, that's the funny thing about this team, Luke, is that Deja's pretty solid for double digits every game. Ella Strickler, I think, had been averaging double digits. Talon Payne can shoot your lights out from outside at a given time. But, some of the underclassmen are the ones that I think Coach Callie Hayworth is going to look at and say, okay, we need you to be able to do this. We need you to be able to do that and get some more offensive production from some of their underclassmen.
No doubt. Deja Givens, when you can get, or when she gives you her average 15, 20 points a night, like she I mean, I don't remember very many nights listening to you do the sports or the stats, and she doesn't have 15, 20 points.
Yeah.
And then Talon Payne, like it was last night, to beat a good Elk City team. Her and Deja Givens match with 17 apiece.
Yeah.
They're going to be hard to beat.
Now, they've beaten Elk City twice, and I will preface it with that the Campbell Garbarino has been out for a majority of the season. She does change that Elk City team a bit, but I mean, we're talking about an Elk S team that shot their way back into a game with McGinnis last Friday, ended up losing by 2, but they're a squad that if you let them get going from outside, they can shoot your lights out too. 23 points in that game against McGinnis for Deja Givens, and then Talon Payne ended up with 9, only hit 1 3 in that, but she had 5 threes last night against the Elkheads. Wow. So just a big night for her. And then also, really what we look at with Elk City, Luke, even though we don't do their games, I know you still cover them for Western Oklahoma Sports. They've got players. Lucio O'Hara had 12 last night and 2 threes, and so all it takes is for them to get some confidence and some space, and they can shoot their way into a game for sure. So girls basketball for Weatherford looking very exciting. They'll have an interesting matchup against OKC Knights on Friday in Midwest City. We get to go to a Baptist church gymnasium and call a game. So that will be fun. But Chad Gray does a great job on that.
He does.
All right, so high school basketball going on. We talked a little bit about Trevor Powers. Before we get out of here, I want to ask you, you're a SWOSU graduate, and then also you cover SWOSU for Wright Media. Talk about this new offensive coordinator hire that they have.
Yes, Zach Allen, the new offensive coordinator and offensive line coach for the Bulldog football team. I got to do the SWOSU coaches show. That would have been yesterday. Got to interview him, and so that was a lot of fun doing that.
That's out tonight.
It's already out. Was out.
Yep.
Was out. I listened to it yesterday. Chad was working overtime yesterday. Got it out early. But no, he has been all over the state. An Oklahoma guy. He played his college ball at Oklahoma State. He was at NEO for 10 years at the JUCO ranks. He's been at the D2 ranks with Northeastern State and Tahlequah, and then was at Oklahoma State the last 4 years as one of their offensive analysts. Definitely an offensive-minded guy. All of the positions he has had have been offensive, and it's cool. Him and Coach Rice have a prior relationship. When Coach Allen was the head coach at NEO, he hired Coach Rice to be his offensive coordinator. So now the roles have just reversed, and so I think that'll help a lot, being that there's a prior relationship there and they know each other, what they expect and stuff. So I'm excited. A lot of momentum around campus on SWOSU.
Definitely. And Andrew Rice locked into a contract for the upcoming future seasons. And I saw some Facebook reel kind of ripping on Weatherford and the winning season being like winning a Super Bowl for the community. And hey, when you go a lot of seasons with no wins, it dang right it is. But he's definitely come in and made a great impact on this SWOSU Bulldog football program. #eat. And always trying to retweet his stuff. But then on the hoops side, man, rough weekend for the Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs against Ouachita Baptist. And now they take a trip to Arkansas for hoops action. SWOSU women, Luke, they need Landry Allen to get back quickly.
They do. Landry Allen is a force. She's top. She is fourth. She's fourth nationally in Division II basketball in blocks per game. She's brought home 4 Defensive Player of the Week awards in the conference, and she is definitely a force on the defensive end. I don't know the broad picture of D2 basketball, but the Great American Conference, I think, is one of the more competitive conferences. There are 2 or 3 ranked teams in the men and the women's side. There is some stiff competition in the GAC this year.
Yeah,
Northwestern women are like 15th in the country.
Yeah, that's huge, and a lot of competition between the GAC and the MIAA. And I think tonight or some night this week, I think Pittsburgh State comes to UCO, and that will feature one former Weatherford Eagle, Ethan Sage, who's I think back from he's been on a burner for the Gorillas here of late. So I'll have to say, I don't like, and I don't know if the GAC is this way as well. You can probably tell me, but I guess you have to purchase MIAA TV to get the games for those programs online.
I think the GAC is more of like each school has their own
Yeah.
independent media outlet.
Yeah.
SWOSU goes through Wright Media. Harding has their own like app, and there's different outlets. Monticello has a YouTube channel, so no, GAC,
Yeah.
they let schools do it how they can.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think the GAC is pretty loaded in Northwestern to have a ranked team. That's pretty amazing. So, but hopefully we'll wish the best of luck, and hopefully both teams will make the GAC playoffs and get into that tournament and give Mike Smith something to do up until next fall.
Following the Western Oklahoma theme we got going, there is a girl from Merritt on the Northwestern roster, and she is I don't want to say a name because it's going to be wrong, but go look through the roster, and there's a girl from Merritt. You look at the stats; she's played in every game. So there's some Western Oklahoma representation on a nationally ranked ball club in Alva.
All right, let's take a look at this real quick. You got me curious because I did interview a couple of girls, I think, at the state tournament when they won the 2A girls state title. Hopefully I don't freeze up my computer looking at it. Let's take a look here. Roster, women's basketball. Merritt. It's interesting also how many Ella Porter. Yeah, I remember
Ella
her.
Porter.
5'8", good guard there. And yeah, she was a big contributor on that state championship team, I'm pretty certain. And just a big time Merritt Oilerette. But no, it's interesting when you look at some of these rosters, how many of these players come from Northern Oklahoma College.
Yes.
You know, I mean, that's a lot of JUCOs that will end up at the D2 level, and that's a good thing. So we'll pay attention to Bulldog TV, and you'll be keeping an eye on the scores. Real quick, before we get out of here, kudos to Tologa head coach. Let me find that post.
Rick Wilson.
Yeah. And 900 and some wins, I think.
950, I think, is what I saw.
Yeah. And so he's pretty close to breaking the 1,000 win match.
Well, I think the only person that has more wins than him is Bertha Frank T.
That's what I read too. So kudos to him. Also, a Calumet freshman girls basketball player, Hayden Mayfield, dropped 51 points. And I think it was against Geary, but still 51 points in a game as a freshman. That bodes well for the Lady Chieftains.
Say that. Since I was in high school running around, Calumet girls athletics were never anything to brag about, and they got a top 10 ranked team this year. So yeah, big shout out to the Chieftains. They got a good girls team this year for sure.
And then also Caleb Thiessen of the Chieftain boys hit the 1,000-point milestone.
Yes.
So
did that last night against Cordell.
Yeah. And then Granite had a couple of players reach 1,000 and then 500 points as well. That would be Weston Brewer hit his 500 career point, and Carl Baumhoff. Hopefully I said that somewhere in the neighborhood correctly. 1,000 points for him.
That's Cole. That's the coach. He had his 100 career wins.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Yeah, there it is. 100 career wins. Let me look at the picture a little closer. That will help a lot. So yeah, Coach Baumhoff with 100 career wins down at Granite. And I'm looking for that post on, I was at the game, and I should have had it printed out. But
something else I was going to say earlier about Hydro that I should have said. Last night was Coach Orrin Lobb's 100 career win.
Was it?
Tuesday night with the win over Geary was his 100th career win. He started his career in Merritt, so all of his wins coming.
I think I visited with him one time when he was at Merritt, and then he made the move over to Hydro. And I think I actually interviewed him when he was at Thomas Regional. Talked to him, maybe sent you some audio on that. Caleb Peason, 1,000 career points. Congratulations to him. Hey, speaking of next week, the West Central tournament.
Yes, sir.
It's going. You're going to be hopping and bopping next week. You'll have teams in that. Talk a little bit about the preview of that, and then we'll get out of here.
West Central is always a fun time. I feel big time sitting down on the floor where Mike gets to sit. It's a good time, but should be some really good competition. On the girls' side, it is, as the voice of Hydro Weekly, I got to throw in Hydro Weekly. The girls' team, they're 11-6. They're going to, I think, go on a run, but Canute and Calumet, I think, are the two favorites. On the girls' side, Canute is number 2 in Class A, and Calumet's 8th in B2. Then on the boys' side, I think several teams could really go on runs. Calumet is probably the favorite. They've been the favorite the past couple of years. They've won it the past couple of years. Canute is going to be good. They're top 10 in Class A. Hydro Weekly has a lot of momentum right now. I got to throw my Bobcats in there, and then Arapahoe Butler. They're also ranked in Class A basketball. So I think the boys' side will be very competitive.
It will be. And Thomas Fake Custer,
yes,
they've got
can't forget about Thomas.
Ty Littlebird can get warm from outside. Then also the Freimeyer twins, and also not to forget Cash Willis. He's a gunner too. So it'll be fun. We'll catch up with Coach Zosky maybe in the near future, and get some Thomas input as well, but a lot of basketball on the horizon here in Western Oklahoma. And then also, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if you want to tune into the West Central tournament next week, all games will be streamed on WBS TV, including Hydro Weekly and Thomas team. So don't think we're not doing it if you can't find it on Bobcat TV, WBS TV.
So no Carrier TV or Bobcat TV streams for the West Central tournament. It'll be on WBS TV at wright.media.
Yes, sir. All games.
We'll put a post out on that, and I know you will too. And I want to encourage people to follow 97.3 The Score on social media, Facebook, Twitter. It is Western OK Sports on Twitter, and then 97.3 The Score on Facebook. Give them a follow. Luke always shares pertinent information to sports in Western Oklahoma. Buddy, we need to get out of here. I've kept you a long time.
No worries. I always enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's something we're going to try to do here on the regular to keep you up to date with sports in Western Oklahoma. We'll try to bring in a couple of interviews next week, but also we want to thank Max Patten, the voice of Sayre Eagle Sports, and also Justin Jefferson, the voice of Clinton Red Tornado boys and girls basketball on Wright.media. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Lawdog. He's Wright Media Sports Director Luke Clement. This has been Western Oklahoma Sports Night. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive. Give us a subscribe on our YouTube channel.